For a second day, some residents in Sangre Grande remain marooned in their homes after heavy rains on Tuesday. And residents in Leemond Village are calling for officials to take urgent action to have the drains cleaned even way before the start of the rainy season. Sunalala reports.
Hanif Khan, who lives near the riverbank around Brooks Trace in Leemond, said he had to swim to get out of his house on Wednesday. He and his family were able to salvage some items, but said the flooding event took them by surprise. The area regularly floods during the rainy season, but he admits that he was unprepared for this during the dry season.
I lost my generator, I lost plenty of other things. I lost spray can, weirs, stove, gas tank, everything that's going on in the river. I live here and there's the river here. But it's a good thing upstairs, right? So everything that's flushed out inside the river. So I was also swim to come out the road to get a little assistance.
And another resident, Earl Stanislaus, said he's never witnessed flood during this time of the year and is calling on the relevant authorities to do some early dredging and clearing works.
There's a lot of drains that drainage uses to clean when I was a little kid. And that really uses to help with pulling the water out. They had stopped doing that for years now. And it have drain passing right behind my house. It's almost the same level with land. These drains need to be cleaned.
Further up, resident Rakesh Maharaj said his family suffered major losses from the downstairs kitchen, apartment and living room area and echoed similar sentiments to have the rivers cleared.
But it had a time that they dredged the river and they banked the river now. I don't know if it was by luck where they banked the river where it used to burst its bank, and like those times the water wasn't so high, it was even less than this, right? But now I don't know if they're not dredging the river. I don't know.
Flood waters receded in most areas along North Approach Road and other areas by noon on Wednesday, but several parts of Leemond still remained underwater in the afternoon. Sonolala, TTT News.
The Drainage Division and other arms of the Ministry of Works and Transport have triggered existing protocols to treat with the flooding issues experienced in the last 2 days. This from Line Minister Rohan Sinanan. He was responding to an urgent question in the lower house on Wednesday. Mahalia Joseph Wharton has more.
In light of the severe floods and distress experienced on Tuesday, the Ministry of Works and Transport was asked to indicate what urgent works will commence to ensure that the devastation will not recur in the days ahead.
The Drainage Division and other arms of the Ministry of Works and Transport triggered existing protocols to ensure that the necessary pumps were on standby and utilized to quickly reduce water levels. In addition, the ministry program at rivers and outlets across the nation has allowed for the necessary quick runoff of water.
Minister Sinanan said the teams at the ministry are currently assessing the impact on areas most affected, as well as the drainage infrastructure to ensure that if repairs are needed, they will be done immediately.
The ministry intends to continue its program of works, which have targeted over 500 desilting projects, clearing of drains and culverts, as well as infrastructure work to deal with the embankment and breaches of and river reshaping. As the ministry executes various measures, we note that the issue of flooding continues to loom large on the international stage as the world, not just Trinidad and Tobago, grapples with new and challenging weather patterns.
He said in the days ahead, the ministry will remain vigilant and focus on its program of works as it seeks to improve the infrastructure.
The statistics show that the rainfall experienced was 1 month rainfall over a 2-day period.
Over the past 3 days, the country received heavy rains which resulted in street and flash flooding. Mahalia Joseph Wharton, TTT News.
Major infrastructure changes are required in order to address the flooding situation in the capital city. During the Port of Spain City Corporation's monthly statutory meeting, Deputy Mayor of Port of Spain, Leemond Village, said funding those changes is one of the major challenges, but commits to having discussions on the issue. Ayana Carter has more.
According to Deputy Mayor of Port of Spain, Leemond Village, the City Corporation will continue to do all in its power to clean watercourses on a scheduled basis. He also noted that infrastructural improvement is needed urgently.
It is obvious that at a higher level, something major needs to be done. The city drains have a particular size, they can only take so much water. The patterns in the rainfall has been showing that more rain is falling in a shorter space of time than ever before. That's the absolute truth. It's like you're taking a 2-liter bottle and trying to pour it into a chubby bottle. You must have massive overflow.
However, he explained that eliminating the capital city's flooding issue requires discussions at a level above the city corporation.
We don't have the finances to do the type of massive work required. We might do some, or we may have to depend on the Ministry of Works, just like they helped us in the past, to construct that drain, and the sum of the cost of, I believe it was about $5 million. If we take $5 million now from our drainage program, no other council in this district in the city could do any work for the term.
The deputy mayor said local government reform and the introduction of property taxes will assist greatly in the corporation's ability to gather proper infrastructure and funding without heavily depending on central government for assistance. Ayana Carter, TTT News.